Premier League season is well and truly past halfway, and I thought I'd revisit my early door picks back at the start of the season to see if I'm on track or see if I should hang my head in shame. We'll take a little look at it next. Right, folks, Bam's giving another prediction. So today we're taking a look back and, of course, my early door picks for the 2020-2021 season out in the Premier League, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new to the channel, stop what you're doing, swallow what you're chewing, and guess what? You got to hit the old subscribe to keep you back today with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Premier League related, well, football related, know here under Walruski. That's right. Yes, I've been meaning to do these, but I just didn't have the time, and I thought I'd get you back up to date right here, right now. Of course, I am recording this on the 5th of February. So things may change by the time it gets up because Premier League's games will go on. But anyway, we'll talk a look at that in a minute. Big shout out to the Patreons. You know who you are. The VIP band of exclusive men and women supporting the channel behind the scenes. And I do appreciate it, guys, especially through these past year or so with your COVID. So, yeah, I do appreciate it, guys. So anyway, if you are interested in joining that band of men and women, check out that link down below, patreon.com/overseas. But also, you can also show your love by just hitting the old subscribe. So let's jump to the deep end, of course, and go and explore my old channel. Here we go. Of course, if you haven't done it, smash your subscribe button right here, right now. And if you go down to, I've actually just put these back on the front page. You can go down and revisit some of my old picks right here, right now. But we're going to go take a little look at the Premier Bloody League. And here we go. Fire that bad boy up. And hopefully that son of a gun will be muted. Yeah, we don't want to listen to that. We don't want to listen to that idiot. Wherever he may be. Where are you? There he is. Look at that handsome son of a gun right there. Now we're gonna crank him up a little bit and go double speed. So where are we? We'll double speed that guy and we'll get it right to the money. No, I don't want thingamajig free. So we're gonna plow on forward to around about, I don't know, here. Okay then, folks, here we bloody go. So hopefully behind me you'll have me going 10 times the bloody dozen. That's right, of course, a double speed of my real picks back in August/September for the 2020-2021 season. Of course, we'll start middle of the road in 11th spot, work all the way down to 20th, and of course we'll reveal where they are in the real world, and at the end of it I'll revamp my picks and of course show you where we are. So kicking off in the middle, well, I had Burnley back in the day in 11th spot. I thought they would do what they do and be absolute turd houses and remain in the division, but of course they're not doing that great at the moment, still just above the drop zone. But at the moment, where are they actually? Confirm that. I think it's around about 17th spot. That's right, 22 points of the ball. They could still get sucked into it. I don't know yet, and hopefully they do, because it will be absolutely just a tonic to see them go down, of course, and maybe even Rovers go up. But of course, that's still early days. But yeah, right here, right now, starting off, not great. But hopefully my picks will get better. But of course, we're not going to get better here. Of course, West Ham coming at you in 12th. Of course, they are flying high. Whoa, up into 5th at the moment, doing absolute bits. Contention for Europe at the moment. And of course, looking very, very good. Jesse Lingard's there. Jared Bowen's looking the part. Suchek's been probably the signing of the season. Of course, David Moyes showing us that he is a good manager after all. Of course, he was good at Everton. All that kind of stuff. Then we've got Leeds into 13th. They kind of find themselves in 11th, so I'm not too happy, not too bad with that one. Of course, they could drop a little bit off as the teams like Wolves, and maybe even Southampton and the likes, and all those guys in and amongst them get better. So Leeds might tail off a little bit. So I'm happy with that. We'll see how they pan up a little bit later on, though, in my grand scheme of things. But yeah, Bayelsa, good to watch. Not really getting all the results their way, but I'm sure they'll the Leeds fans will be happy with their performance so far. So what do I have into 14th? Well, I'm trying to recall, scratch my brains as I recall that. We've got Aston Villa. Aston Villa also doing very, very well this season. Of course, struggled last year. That's what I probably favoured last time around, was of course they would have a bad season, but get better a little bit. But they've actually stepped up even much more than that, up to 9th in the moment. So it's good season for them. But again, I can see them dropping down a little bit as the season progresses, and of course injuries become a major part of their season. But yeah, good. Greenish has stepped up, looked a real deal. They've got a really good goalkeeper, Martinez, which I think has boosted their chances of survival. Next up I had Sheffield United. Of course, we all know about them, had a nightmare so far, but if they're actually in tip-top form as of recording, what is it, the 5th of February, they've won 4 of the past 5 games, so they might start to turn a corner and maybe, just maybe, break that second season hoodoo. But unfortunately, the points on the board do not look promising, and I think they are going to be destined for the drop. And again, we'll have a look at my picks at the end of it. So I was optimistic that they would be around for the second season with the tremendous stuff that we did see last year, but that's not been the case. They're kind of, to be honest with you, been a bit found out. Can you see all of that down there? I don't know if you can see all that. Well, while we're looking at it, there we go. We can get it all in there. So Sheffield United, and then I've got Newcastle into 16th. I'm pretty close to the money on this one, I think. Yeah, so right here, right now, as of recording, they are in 16th spot, and I think they might even dip down a little bit at the moment. They're hot and cold at the moment. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're terrible. We'll have to see what happens at the end of the season, but difficult to predict. Of course, a lot of fans want Bruce out because there's better managers out there, and I think Lampard would be an absolute fit. He would fit the bill nicely for Newcastle if that was the case. Next, of course, we have Fulham into 17th. Of course, last time out in the Premier League, they did ass. This time they're hoping for a little bit better, and I did have them at just above the drop zone. I thought they would get the things right, but right here, right now, it's not looking good. They're actually in the drop zone and quite a considerable few points behind Burnley. But I think they can start to close the points. They brought in a couple of players. Josh Maja also. They brought in another fellow, Josh. They were trying to get for Josh King, but unfortunately they couldn't get that over the line. So yeah, I'm on point with that. I originally had them to survive. I don't think that's the case, though. I think they might struggle. Then I had Crystal Palace, of course. Roy Hodgson, ex-Rovers manager. They're doing tremendous and doing what they want to do. Just stay in the division and keeping themselves at that relegation spot. So I had them going down at the moment, of course, in that relegation spot into 18th spot. But right here, right now, Roy's doing the business, and of course, he's got some really good players. Ibidochie Eze has been a phenomenal signing from the Championship, and he's stepped up, and he's like he's a fish out of water or a duck out of water, whatever the saying is. He looks the real part, and they've got himself a bargain. I think they'll probably be looking to sell him on already in a season or two's time to make a bit of money because he looks fitted for this division. Next up we have Brighton, and again another team that's been was in trouble, and I would consider myself about a month ago to be on point with that one, but they've actually got some really good results, including that win against Liverpool just the other day to climb themselves up to 15th. So they are up a bit up about it. Do I stand by that? Will they go down? I don't think so. I don't think any of those two sides will go down. Palace and Brighton, I think they're safe, but I think I'm nailed on to think who is there, and of course it is 20th is West Brom, and I think that's a tough one. Right now I am an Allardyce man. I like him. Of course, I've got him down at 19th. Originally, this was a Bilic prediction, but now with Allardyce, I might have to revisit that, and we'll have a look at my revisited picks in just a second. So West Brom, in my eyes, back in the day, were going down. They're sitting in 19th, and right here, right now, I'd say that's a win for me, but I'm going to revisit my picks, and maybe we'll change it up. Of course, be sure to bang the thumbs up, bang subscribe, just like he's saying in there. Next up in 10th, I had Southampton. Southampton actually in 12th. I think they could still rise up to 10th. They were knocking on the door for Europa League spots about 6 weeks ago, but now, of course, with that 9-0 spanking just the other day against Man United, ringing in the rears, this might be more closer to the money than my pick in 10th. So, but I'll stand by 10th. I think they'll be up and around there at the end of the season when it comes to a conclusion into May. Into the top 10 now we go, of course, into 9th. Who would I have in 9th? Probably somebody like Wolves, I would imagine, who have had a nightmare season. We'll see that in a second once he decides to. There it is, Wolves into 9th. Of course, I have them currently down. They're in 14th at the moment. I do expect them to rise. They are a decent side. Again, their goals were ripped out. The Mexican fella has been removed from with injury. Has not provided the goals. They brought in William Jose. I do expect him to get some goals, and he is a decent signing. So for them, I do expect them to start rising. And again, end up around about 9th. We'll see. Next up, Everton have been another surprise package. There's been quite a few surprise packages. They currently find themselves in 7th, so I'm pretty much on the money with that one. I do expect them to maybe push it a little bit further. Actually, Ancelotti's boys has gotten worked well. Good team. James Rodriguez has been a tremendous signing for Everton, so I do expect them to be knocking on the door a little bit for the Europa League spots as the season comes to a close. But yeah, of course, Everton surprising us all. There are some more surprise packages though in that upper echelons of the Premier League, and we'll get to them in a minute. But yeah, Everton so far so good. Dominic Calvert-Lewin scoring goals. The Leicester City, I had them into 7th, but of course they're doing absolutely tremendous in 3rd, and I would not rule them out for another Premier League trophy at the moment. Of course, they've got to outfox Manchester City at the top of the table, but if they can keep on the heat and of course watch City drop points maybe even this weekend against the likes of Liverpool, it might open up the door for Leicester, maybe get a second Premier League trophy within a few years. Of course, then next I have Spurs into 6th. I watched them yesterday. They were absolutely dross. I got them down. They're actually in 8th at the moment, so I do anticipate Mourinho, despite playing shitty football, get them up there grinding out the results, pushing up the. Of course, they've not had the best of luck with Harry Kane out injured. Of course, massive amount of goals in there removed So yeah, maybe, just maybe, in around about 6th or 7th. I don't anticipate them being in the top 4 at the end of the season. And again, I'll show you my picks, my revised picks in a minute. But it is 6th. Spurs are there. It's been a shit show for them. Next up, I had Manchester United back at the start of the season. I've got Arsenal down in 10th. I don't know what I'm doing here. Where are they? Manchester United, of course, are in 2nd. Let's just take a little pause on this one. Can we pause? Yeah, Manchester United, of course, in the title race at this moment in time. Do I anticipate them being there? I don't know. I think they're flattering to deceive. I think there's still a couple of players short of realistically being title contenders. I think Bruno's done a fantastic job over there. Of course, they got they missed out on Jadon Sancho, which I think is kind of hurting them in the long term. So I think they're still going to be shy and still stand by this 5th. They might push in and get into the top 4. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, in the real world, they're currently sitting 2nd, but that could all change in a matter of days. So 5th for them. I think next up 4th, I might have had Arsenal because of course they're down to 10th. I think I did. I must have did. So we'll have a little look in just a second. But I believe Arsenal coming at you, who have had a nightmare season themselves, in 10th. But again, a couple of wins away, they could shoot themselves back up to 7th. So it is not all doom and gloom just yet. But United, I think they're a striker short. I think they're attacking winger short, and maybe even a defensive cover in the middle of the park. Even though some of the guys are stepping up to the plate, I just think they're a couple of little members short for really pushing into that top 4 and remaining in that top 4 and even pushing for the title. Next up is Arsenal, of course, absolutely cursed with bad luck, I would say. Real bad run only a few weeks ago. Kind of turned the corner a little bit, but yes, too little too late, and I don't realistically see them into the top 4 discussion over there. I do expect them to rise the table, maybe into the 6th or 7th spot discussion, but they've also got Europa League contention and maybe even sneak in the back door of the Europa League, so and the Champions League via the Europa League. So that's probably an avenue that they're probably going to abuse. We'll have to wait and see, though. Into the Power 3 now, of course, you know who they are. Of course, Chelsea are in there, City are in there. Chelsea coming out at 3rd, currently find themselves in 6th. Made a bit of a managerial change and bringing in Thomas Tuchel. And realistically, I'll probably, of course, I think we all backed Lampard. I thought he was going to do well. He brought in a load of faces, but it just didn't work out. And they're now 6th. I think they could still be dark horses for that top 4. I think Thomas Tuchel has got them defensively working solid in the end. I think at the end, let's pause this guy here. He's going way too fast. I think at the end of the day, Chelsea will grind out the results. They've got the good players in. Timo Werner will click in a gear. I think, what's his name? Hakim Ziyech also will get his act together. And eventually we will see Chelsea rise over the next 10 games into that top 3, top 4, something like that, and make a push for Champions League. Leaving the final 2, of course, not been the greatest few days for Liverpool, of course, coming from a nailed-on title winners again, or back-to-back title winners again, to just question marks about their Champions League form. Of course, losing been hit hard in the back there with Virgil van Dijk, Gomez, of course. There you have it. That's my picks for 1 and 2. But of course, it's not the situation as it stands. Of course, in 4th at the moment it is Liverpool, and in top spot it is Manchester City. So right here, right now, my picks compared to the real world is a little rough. It's a little rough around the gills. I did have City in 2nd, but of course they are 1st. Will they be 1st? Well, I don't know. I'll tell you what I think about the grand scheme of things. In fact, we'll take a look at what I think will happen in the rest of the season right here now. And I'm going to come at you pretty fast. Here we go. So I think Sheffield United will go down at the end of it. I do think Fulham will join them, and I'm pinning my hopes on Burnley getting sucked into it, and another great escape from Sam Allardyce. Newcastle will have an okay season at the end of it and stay in the Premier League, as will Brighton and Crystal Palace. Wolves won't make much traction up into 13th spot. Leeds will be alright with mid-table, as will the Saints and Aston Villa in a top 10 finish. Arsenal, though, will fall short of the Europa League spots, and will be pinning their hopes on maybe some domestic cup success or even Europa League success. I think West Ham will be alright with 8th. Progress, of course, massive progress. Tottenham down at 7th. Everton will get 6th, and I'm thinking Liverpool will be hurt badly by their defensive crisis, and they'll fall out of the top 4. It's a big shout, big claim from 1st, my original picks, to 5th now. United will just pip them to Champions League football into 4th. Chelsea will go into 3rd from out of nowhere. Leicester City will go 2nd, and Manchester City will become champions. It's pretty much close to the money as is right now. Manchester United, of course, are 2nd, but again, I think Leicester City, they're more hungry. They're not a lot of pressures on them. There's a lot of pressure on Manchester United. There's a lot of pressure on Liverpool and Chelsea and even City to get top 4. I think Leicester City can play with a bit of freedom, and I think they'll do just that. And of course, get over the line and get into the Champions League once again. So that's what I think will happen in the rest of the season. Of course, then a quick look back at my own picks. So what do you think about that? Be sure to give the video some love and smash the old thumbs up. Smash the subscribe, of course, if you're new to the channel. We've got extensive coverage of the Premier League, watch-alongs occasionally, predictions as well. So make sure you come by and smash the old thumbs up as well. well. Check out the links down below, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and all that kind of stuff. And also, if you want to support the channel in another way, you could become the latest member of the Patreon gang. And there is the link on the screen right now, patreon.com/roseseas. But until then, though, I'll see you all soon. Take it easy. And, of course, be safe out there. It's a wild world.